When James Marshall saw that first gold nugget shining up at him from a riverbed in the Sierra Nevada mountains, he didn't know he was about to launch a migration that would change the course of American history. More than 300,000 people made their way to California over the next few years. They all wanted one thing: gold. The local Native Americans had long known of the vein of ore that would come to be known as the mother lode. They often ignored it. They had no use for such a soft metal. But that gold strike was the stuff of dreams to folks back east. Gold could set you free. There'd be no more breaking your back behind a plow, no more swinging a pickaxe in a coal mine, no more dragging a bag behind you in a cotton field. That gold strike was the original American get-rich-quick scheme, and for some folks, it worked. Enough stories of easy pickings made their way back east to keep a stream of folks coming to California by boat around the Horn or across Panama, or by wagon train across the continent. By 1852, word had traveled to Pike County, Missouri, as it had everywhere, about the gold found at Sutter's Mill in Northern California. It was a siren call to Isaac Wilkins. Ike, as he was called, was looking for a way out. The youngest of 4 sons, he knew he would never own the family farm. He'd have to make another way for himself in life. One day, while he's hauling a load of produce to town, he sets his eyes upon the lovely Elizabeth Malone, and she spies him too. Now, young love, as they say, will find a way, and before long, young Ike and Betsy are making time. And Betsy's father doesn't think too kindly of young Ike casting his eyes on his only daughter, but Ike is determined to have Betsy for his wife and to leave Pike County for California. If you believe what folks are saying, and Ike does, California is a place where gold practically jumps into your pocket while you're taking your evening stroll. Wagon trains are heading west every week out of nearby Independence, and Ike plans to be on one. He believes he can convince Betsy's father to change his thinking and come around to Ike's point of view, but Ike is wrong.
There's a pretty girl in Missouri. She's got eyes of midnight blue. Hurry back to Missouri. She's waiting there for you. Waiting there for you. From Long Lake to Ashburn, he carried his load. A heavier heart never traveled that road. He'd asked her daddy for his daughter's hand. Daddy took a shotgun, chased him off his land. She cried, come back to me, Isaac, hold my breath for you. Hurry back, oh Isaac, before this girl turns blue. Don't let the girl turn blue. so red, skin so white. They left California, across the open plain. Maybe they'll dig up the gold and bury all the pain. Bury all the pain. He still loves his Betsy darling. She surely loves him too. But in a graveyard in Missouri, you'll see what love can do. You'll see what love can do. I still love my Betsy darling. She surely loves me too. But in a graveyard in Missouri, you'll see what love can do. See what love can do. See what love can do. You can see what love can do.
Now, they didn't mean to kill Betsy's father. It was an accident, him falling backwards just so, hitting his head against that iron stove. Well, Betsy only jumped on him to get his gun, the gun he was about to use to plug young Ike with. Now, it was an accident, all right, but Ike was afraid nobody in town would believe their story, so he grabs Betsy, and they run.
1, 2, 3. Oh, we're gone to California, and we're on our way. Oh, we're gone to California, we'll be rich one day. Oh, we're gone to California, yeah, we're on our way. Oh, we're gone to California, we'll be rich one day. Gonna cross the big wide prairie, gonna get my fill. They got gold there bigger than boulders, gonna get my fill. Oh, we're gone to California, yeah, we're on our way. Oh, we're gone to California, we'll be rich one day.
Their journey takes 5 months, 5 long, hard months on a wagon train across what is now Nebraska, Wyoming, Utah, and Nevada. Across the Sierra Nevada mountains and down into California, nearly 2,000 miles of hunger, hostile Indians, illness, and death. About the only happy day on the trail is when Ike and Betsy become man and wife along the Platte River across from Chimney Rock. So you can imagine the joy on the wagon train when they get through the mountain pass and head down into Hangtown, a busy, ramshackle boomtown of several thousand people crammed into this little valley. Now, Hangtown is a place for provisioning, for staking your claim, for seeing justice done, usually at the end of a rope. And there's plenty of hate to go around amongst the Anglos, the Mexicans, the Chinese, the runaway slaves, and the Indians. Hangtown is a every man for himself kind of place where tempers are short and violence erupts at the drop of a hat. Miners inhabit all of the bars and dance halls in Hangtown, letting off steam. Now, there's not too many women in Hangtown, and fewer still visit the dance halls. So if you want to dance, another miner's the only partner you've got. A kerchief tied around the upper forearm or draped across the front of your trousers reminds you who gets to lead and who has to follow. You can imagine the commotion when Ike walks into the Hangtown Dance Hall with the beautiful Betsy on his arm.
Hangtown Dance Hall, welcome to the show. You've come to California now, here's what you need to know. It's all you need to know. Now they say California is at the rainbows, and that pot of gold is what you're looking for. You're not alone, my friend, no, you're not alone, my friend. Gold is out there waiting, waiting to be found. But the sun is set, the moon is out, so swing your partner round. Jason went a-sailing with his Argonauts. He hoped to find that golden fleece. Now Jason's scrubbing pots, yeah, he's scrubbing dirty pots. 2,000 miles to old St. Joe, 2,000 round the horn. Some might come through old Panama, they wish they'd never been born. They wish they'd never been born. Gold is out there waiting, waiting to be found. But the sun is set, the moon is out, so swing your partner around. Some ugly girls in here with beards and dirty pants. We can only work with what we've got here at the Hangtown Dance. Here at the Hangtown Dance. Well, gold is out there waiting, waiting to be found. But the sun is set, the moon is out, so swing your partner around. Gold up in the mountains, gold up in the hills. For every man that it makes rich, 100 more it kills.
Betsy was a popular figure on the wagon train. Singing and dancing around the campfire at night, she brought a spark of joy to what was otherwise a lot of gloomy miles. Now, Ike didn't care for singing nor dancing, and he was jealous of those who joined in with Betsy's fun. At the Hangtown Dance Hall, Betsy took to the floor right away, and Ike takes to the bar, nursing his whiskey, watching Betsy dance. Between the rot-gut liquor and his jealousy, Ike's stomach is tied into a knot.
I heard you call me a faithful friend.
I was talking about the dog.
I heard you say that I smell pretty bad.
I was talking about the dog.
Oh, I saw you smiling at him and him and him.
You know how much I love to dance.
You were holding on tight with every spin.
You know how much I love to dance. Oh, if you don't know me, if you don't know me, if you don't know the kind of woman you got, if you don't know you're the man for me, well, maybe, just maybe you're not.
Ike storms off into the night with Betsy crying out after him, "Where do you think you're going?" Betsy gets no reply, and Ike disappears into the twilight. Betsy turns around, heads back into the little room they've taken above the dance hall. Lying there on her bed, staring up at the ceiling, she listens as the band plays on into the night. Ike just walks, his mood getting darker with every step. He follows the road out of town up into the hills until it turns into a trail that meanders along beside the riverbank. He passes ragged mining camps filled with ragged miners who nod a wary greeting, but their eyes say, "Move along, hoss." And Ike does. An evening alone out under the stars with no shelter and no food makes Ike question his rashness. But Ike has a stubborn streak a mile wide. Come morning, he's walking again, looking for a suitable place to file a claim. He hears a voice singing a mournful tune and decides to find its source. Following the music, he comes across a miner sitting by his campfire. The smell of something cooking makes his stomach grumble and growl. He is beyond hungry, but Ike doesn't move. He just stands there, listening.
Afternoon's gone blind. The sun beats down and it burns away. The only sound is the heat of the day up against my eyes. Trying to write a few lines, gonna set them down while I think of you. Might tell it badly, telling it true before the ink is dry. Seems to me that every day is a little bit hotter than the other one. Seems to me that every way to try to get through 'em is the stupidest thing that I've ever done. Counting all day long, counting crumbs of the bread that is running low, crumbs of the gold that is piling up slow, hardly any size. Counting more at night, I've been counting the moon since I've been free, and the night since you sat right next to me, looking in my eyes. Seems to me that every day is a little bit drier than the other one. Seems to me that every way that I try to get through 'em is the stupidest thing that I've ever done. On the way you'd sing as the wheels and the miles roll along, seemed like you knew every song I'd ever heard about. All the songs I know can hardly fill it out on a sugar bowl. Starting to feel the hours have a hold and they're leaking out. Seems to me that every day is a little bit longer than the other one. Seems to me that every way I try to get through 'em is the stupidest thing that I've ever done. Stupidest thing that I've ever done.
The singer looks up and sees Isaac staring at him from behind the trees. He waves him over and offers him up a bowl of stew. "My name is Walter Brown," the grizzled old miner says, and then he commences to tell Ike his story. said my wife died of the cholera shortly after we arrived here in California from Kentucky. That is now on to a year ago. I survived, but just barely. Now, I believe this is a good claim, but I ain't got the strength to get to it. And I tell you what, young feller, you got the strength and I got the claim. What say we partner up? The two men shake hands, get up from their fire, and set to it.
I don't know where you are tonight, but Isaac, you should know you're the only one I love. You didn't have to go, you know I'll wait for you forever. You're the one I chose, and I will always be your rose, your Pike County rose.
In the cold light of day, with Ike gone and no money to pay for room and board, Betsy wanders the muddy streets of Hangtown, stopping in at every shop she passes, asking them if they might hire her for something, anything. Finally, at a Chinese laundry, a man nods a yes. He points at a pile of clothes and then says something in a language she can't understand to a young Chinese woman who's working with a hot iron. He waves Betsy over to her. My name is Mei Lin, the young woman says in broken English. I will show you. After several days working side by side, the two women become friends, and Mei Lin tells Betsy her story.
On the banks of the river, girl, my eyes filled with tears. You tied a rope around my hands, and the voice appeared. You're taking me from my father's hut. You took my sister too. They gave him the devil's choice. What else could you do? The price I never knew. In my dreams I am swimming a river
As their friendship grows, Betsy helps May Lynn with her English and teaches her the songs that she knows. May Lynn plays Chinese folk songs for Betsy on a crude 4-string lute that she has fashioned for herself. One night, after a long, hard day at the laundry, Betsy talks May Lynn into going with her to the Hangtown Dance Hall. The two women stand outside listening to the music, and then Betsy takes May Lynn by the hand and pulls her inside. She just moves a bit with the music while leaning against the wall. The next thing she knows, she's on the edge of the dance floor, swaying in time to the music. She no longer cares. She just wants to dance her troubles away. Several miners try to take her by the hand, but she just shakes them off, content to dance by herself. The band leader, Jeremiah, notices this dancing beauty. And when a particularly nasty-looking fella won't leave her alone, he takes her by the hand and pulls her onto the stage with the band. The crowd hoots and hollers. Some miners throw coins. Betsy dances a little jig, smiles, and scoops them up. She tosses one of the coins to Jeremiah, who's fiddling as fast as he can. When the band takes a break, Jeremiah makes Betsy a proposition. Join the musicians as they make their rounds of the mining camps, playing for tips, coins, and nuggets and gold dust. She can dance a few numbers, maybe sing a few too. For some reason, Betsy doesn't really understand. She trusts him. She says yes, thinking about all those gold coins that have been tossed her way. After a tearful goodbye to May Lynn, she heads into the hills with Jeremiah's band. They travel in a couple of mule-drawn carts, playing mining camps with names like Fiddletown, Rough and Ready, Volcano, Humbug, and Jackass Creek. It's tiring, but it sure beats working in the laundry. She still misses Ike, but as the days go by, she tries to think of him less and less.
Show is starting pretty soon, so I'll put on my face that'll fill the house and my cleanest vows till the lights are fading into slumber and drift into my closing number. Down, up and down, kicking heels up and knees up, and now to my left and then now to my right, and around and around. When it's over, I wake up and out the clothes I'll be dancing in, with a lot of smile and a little skin. doesn't have a lock. Try to find a sock. I'll be up before the sun because we have to run to another town to dance around. And I wish that I could dream of sailing out to sea on a ship so bright and lovely. Down, up and down, kicking heels up and knees up and down to my left and then down to my right and around. When it's over, I'll wake up and pick out the clothes I'll be dancing in with a lot of smiles and a little skin.
After a tiring day of traveling and performing, the band members all relax around the campfire and then one by one drift off to their bedrolls, leaving Betsy and Jeremiah alone with their thoughts. Jeremiah asks her about her life before, back in Missouri. She turns the question back around on him. "What about you?" she says. "What brought you to this crazy place?"
Came to California just to play my songs. Back in Tennessee, my life had gone so long. Heard about the gold strike, I knew I had to go. Took my fiddle to New Orleans for a ship to the motherlode. I played for my passage, I played for my meals. I admit to getting tired of hornpipes and reels. With fingers sore I went ashore in dirty San Francisco. Caught the first coach I could up to Sacramento. I knew I couldn't dig the dirt or break the rocks all day. I leave that for stronger men, it's never been my way. But I can keep them happy, give a tired soul a song. They give me flakes in gratitude, till I feel like I belong. Now and then a nugget finds its way into my purse. I knew back in Tennessee things would be much worse. I was always welcome up in the mining camps. They could always use my fiddle at the Sunday dance. I made my fortune here in California, but I will say I am a rich man. You can take all the gold they found up in these hills, and all the gold still hiding there won't amount to what I see right here by my side. Elizabeth, precious and rare. Elizabeth, precious and rare.
When Jeremiah finishes his song, he realizes his dancing girl is fast asleep, and the revelation of his affections has gone unheard. Back in Hangtown, a familiar figure saunters up to the dance hall bar, James Marshall. Marshall worked for John Sutter in 1848, building a sawmill along the north branch of the American River. Sutter had dreamed of building an inland empire in California, and Marshall was his right-hand man. Now, during the mill construction, Marshall saw something shining in the water. It was gold, and he knew it. He also knew that this would spell the end of his relatively peaceful existence. Marshall's crew soon abandoned the mill, looking for instant riches, panning for gold up and down the river. Eventually, Marshall figured if you can't beat 'em, you might as well join 'em. And though he staked many a claim and sifted through mountains of rock and dust, he only found a little bit of gold. The folks in Hangtown knew Marshall to be a hard-drinking man. He was an ornery, bitter soul. Newcomers would walk right up to him and ask him where they ought to dig. They figured he had found gold once. Surely he could find it again.
When I walked in, I could see that you knew me. I saw from that look in your eye. Buy me a drink and I'll tell you a story I couldn't make up if I tried. The mill was near done and the channel was dug. The wheel was ready to turn. The water was rushing in just as I wanted. Now here's the lesson to learn. If it's shining and calling, you don't pick it up. Leave it lying there, it might be gold. If it is, then the price you will learn, where a man can be bought and sold. I guess you could say that I started it all when I bent down early that day. The sun, it was rising, the air, it was cold. Now here's what I want to say. If it's shining and calling, you don't pick it up. Leave it lying there, it might be gold. If it is, then the price you will learn, where a man can be bought and sold. Now they follow me every step that I take, every turn, everywhere that I go. And they call on me to tell them exactly the place where they'll find all that gold. But I'm not King Midas, and I don't know. It's like asking a dead man which way the wind blows. Pour me a drink and I'll tell you a story. You already know how it ends.
Sitting on a bar stool, nursing his whiskey, Marshall watches as two men burst in the door, waving a leather pouch and whooping it up. It's Ike and Walter, showing off their good fortune to the folks of Hangtown. Turns out Walter was right. He had staked a good claim. With Ike's help, he had proved it. And now Ike was ready to find Betsy and offer her the life they had dreamed about when they walked across the continent. But first, he's got another powerful hunger that he needs to satisfy first. Ike and Walter order the most expensive meal the cook can whip up. It's something they call the Hangtown Fry.
Counterman, could you listen please? It's been a long tried year of nothing but beans. I've eaten them cold, I've eaten them hot, of eating them dry when that was all I'd got.
I'm a simple man with simple tastes, and if it ain't gonna kill me, I'll shove it in my face. You're looking at a man in this chair right here who's gonna eat like a king and sleep for a year.
Counterman, counterman, I used to be cash poor like most of the suckers that come through your door. I begged for booze, I begged for meat, I booked the scar butts I found on the street.
Counterman, I know I look like I slept in a ditch, but I'm poor no more and my food should be rich. The fanciest meal that a man ever ate, give me none of that horse meat, you feed the cheapskates.
Cook me up some
Hangtown fried, Hangtown fried.
I wanna eat like the bankers do, so forget the beans and avoid the stew. Hangtown fried, Hangtown fried. I want a meal that's gonna make me proud, and I want a meal that's gonna draw a crowd. And I've been working on a rich man's hunger. Feel it's only fair to warn you, I don't think I can wait much longer for the fanciest dish in California.
Hangtown fried,
Hangtown fried. I don't care how much money you charge me, shrink my wallet while you enlarge me. Hangtown fried, Hangtown fried. I want a meal I don't have to beg for, a meal I gotta pay an arm and a leg for. Been working on a rich man's hunger, feel it's only fair to warn you, I don't think I can wait much longer for the fanciest dish in California. Hangtown fried, Hangtown fried.
Now, James Marshall isn't the only man with watching Ike and Walter. Their little exhibition has drawn the eyes of every man in the dance hall, including Augustus Pyle. Now, Augie Pyle is a bitter little man who has had no luck in the gold fields. Well, not unless you count his thieving and worse up and down the mother lode. He watches Ike and Walter walk out of the dance hall with their bellies full, and then he slides off his bar stool and follows. With a knife in his hand, he sidles up next to him and demands the gold. Well, he's not going to get Ike's purse without a fight. Augie thrusts at him with his knife, but Walter steps in between the two, taking the blade in his gut. Ike reaches for Walter, and Augie reaches for the gold. He grabs it and runs. Walter knows he's done for, but he doesn't let on. "I'm fine," he whispers. "Go get him." Ike nods and runs after Augie up the street and out into the woods. Meanwhile, all the commotion has caused Mei Lin to rush out of the Chinese laundry. She sees Walter, runs to him, and listens.
China girl, just listen. Oh, I'm dying, yes, I'm dying. Now you run, find Miss Betsy, and you tell me what I know. Tell her Isaac found his gold, and that he loves her still, but he's chasing after devils, and it's gonna get him killed.
When Walter says Betsy's name with his dying breath, Mei Lin assumes this must be Ike, the man Betsy has talked about so often. Well, folks pour out of the Hangtown dance hall and surround the dead man. They cover him with a canvas, pick him up, carry him off. Maylin knows she needs to find Betsy and tell her about Ike's death, so she prepares to head up into the hills to find her friend. In the meantime, Augie is giving Ike the slip. Dejected, Ike walks back into town just in time to see his dead friend being carried off. He stands and stares for a moment, then turns around, walks back to their diggings. He's determined to keep working Walter's claim until he is a rich man. Then he'll come back to Hangtown and win Betsy back. In the local graveyard the next day, a funeral is held for Ike. But it's Walter in the pine box. Preacher McGee addresses those few who have gathered, the faithful and the curious.
We are gathered here together to remember with a few words at high noon. On a day of foul weather, he won't see it 'cause he left us all too soon. A man whose life was like a candle, barely flickering in the wind and pouring rain. Only burning for a moment, but a moment that was precious just the same. He came west to find his fortune like so many folks who drifted out this way. Probably riding in a wagon, wearing clothes as dusty as his clothes today. Doing the Lord's work of survival, that is something that I don't have to explain. Traveling with his wits about him, also wolves and poison snakes and rough terrain. If a Christian man is honest, he will work till it is time to work no more. Through the hot days and the cold nights, out there standing in a miserable downpour. Ike was honest and he worked an honest hour under his Lord's watchful eye. Though I guess that he would mostly work outside on the days when it was dry.
Preacher, I hear what you say as I'm on my way, and I hope you forgive me for saying you got it turned around. It ain't night down here laying, 'cause my name is Walter Brown. I'll explain who was slain to the folks up there praying where I'm bound. Left my troubles on the ground.
Well, if there's gold still on his person, it would be a sin to leave it in the dirt. When our church still needs new windows and a pile of new Bibles couldn't hurt. They emptied out his pockets, but I doubt they searched the lining of his coat. While I'm checking, I'll refer to you the golden words of truth that St. Paul wrote. I would ask you men to step back, for the mud up here is slippery as an eel. And shoving back a muddy mob is not a fitting job for men of my ideals. Show respect for the departed by not leaning over so far you'll fall in. Sinners, don't be in a hurry to jump in a grave before your time has been.
Well, that slippery preacher walked away from the burial a little bit disappointed that he hadn't found any nuggets tucked away in the dead man's pockets. Oh well, Maybe the next body will offer up some hidden treasure before the dearly departed goes on to meet the Lord. A couple of days later, May Lynn finds Jeremiah's bands at a busy mining camp. She tells Betsy of Ike's death. The two friends ride back into town on the same mule that May Lynn rode in on. And then they go straight to the graveyard.
Is anybody here last Tuesday when they put you in the ground? I hope your soul is resting easy. I hope it's peace you found. You're still in my arms and in my ears and always in my heart. Why do we let things get between us and push us apart? Oh, why is it that day in Chimney Rock when you took me as your bride was the first time I've ever felt such happiness inside? And if there is a God, I hope he knows that I will always be your high county rose. I got a letter from back home today, dated months ago. Uncle Joe says Mama passed away. Where did they all go? Why did I think I'd have the time to see them later on? Everyone I've ever loved is gone. So if I need to talk a while, this is where I'll come. Oh, I miss the way we talk out there underneath the stars, and I know those days are gone. But I believe you hear me there, wherever you may be. I know you hear your high county rose. When I need to talk a while, well, this is where I'll come. Oh, I miss the way we talk out there underneath the stars, and I know those days are gone. And I believe you hear me there, wherever you may be. I know you hear your high county rose. Will always be your high county rose.
Well, Betsy's in no mood to return to singing and dancing, but she's got no place else to go. She asked May Lynn to join her. May Lynn does. She's soon traveling with Jeremiah's band, cooking and cleaning, just happy to be with her friend. Now, all this goes on without Ike's knowledge. He's still stubbornly working Walter's claim, but it's slow going. It's hard work and lonely.
I know a bird, she sings for me. I know a bird, she sings for me. Late at night, she sings for me. But she's far, far away. When I'm down, I feel in love. When I lay down, I feel her love. Late at night, I feel her love. Though she's far, they're colder than coal. I've been digging, I keep digging all day long, all day, every day, and I'm quickly growing old, growing old. Oh, I left my friends and family. I thought gold would set me free. Now I'm free with nothing more to lose, but I'm so far, far away. So high will melt my soul, but the stars late at night, they're colder than coal. I've been digging, I keep digging all day long, all day, every day, and I'm quickly growing old, growing old. When I'm back, will you know me? Oh, Betsy, please remember me. Late at night when I'm back in your arms, will you be far, far away? Oh, I know Birchie sings for me.
I know Birchie sings for me.
Oh, I know Birchie sings for me. Late at night, she sings for me, but she's far, far away.
The darkness falls, night quits for the night. Sitting around his campfire, he hears a noise coming from upriver. It's not a noise, it's music. He decides to follow the sound, which is carrying clearly through the trees. He comes upon a mining camp with a makeshift bar and an open-air dance hall. He stands at the back and watches and listens. Another man we know is standing at the bar, listening to the music, watching Betsy dance. Augustus Pyle. He's standing there throwing back whiskey after whiskey, paying the bartender with little bits of gold that he pulls from a leather pouch. Walter's murder is weighing heavy on his mind, and his imagination is taken into some very dark places.
I had a dream, I had a bad dream. Someone hanging from the hanging tree. My eyes could see the swinging feet. That man hanging there was me. Didn't have to wonder what I'd done. I'd killed a man and I'd been hung. When I woke, I was so cold. I'll be hanging soon, I killed a man to go. Maybe it's time that I confess I never even called that man's name. Feels good to get it off my chest. He was bragging about a strike he'd hit a vein. And I'm sorry that he was a white man. Well, I'd never killed a white man before. Guess I'm getting careless in my grief. Now I'm going to meet the hanging tree. There's that dream, there's that same bad dream. The noose is swinging from the hanging tree. People walking by with guilt in their eyes, wondering is that noose there for me? And everybody knows what everybody's done, knows we all deserve to be hung. What I've done is different, so I'm told. We've all killed and we all want to go. Yeah, what I've done is different, so I'm told. But I know you kill a man for gold. Oh yeah, you kill a man for gold. It's easy to kill for gold.
Ike is stunned to realize that the dancing girl on that makeshift stage is his Betsy. He starts to move forward, but then he's jolted by another shock when he sees Augie Pyle just ahead of him, moving forward with his snake eyes fixed on Betsy. He freezes in his tracks as he watches Walter's killer move through the crowd and then duck behind a burlap curtain at the side of the stage. When Betsy's dance is done, she leaves the stage, and that's when Ike starts moving again. Backstage, Augie approaches Betsy. He assumes that a dancing girl would be willing to exchange gold for certain, favors. Betsy's not that kind of girl. "Get out," she says. That's when she notices the small bag that Augie is holding on to. That's Ike's bag. "Where did you get that?" she shouts. Ike rushes in through the curtain just in time to see Augie and Betsy fighting. Augie's got her around the throat, but Betsy won't relinquish her hold on the leather pouch. Well, Ike grabs the first thing he can find, a wooden stool, and he brings it down hard on Augie's head. Augie staggers back. Betsy sees Ike. Thinking she's seen a ghost, she screams and faints dead away. Jeremiah and the other musicians come in just in time to see Ike moving in on Augie with a knife. The musicians grab the two men, pull them apart. There'll be no killing here tonight, Jeremiah says as he helps Betsy back to her feet. Betsy turns to Ike, says, "Isaac?" Ike nods. The men let him go. Ike walks towards Betsy. She opens up her arms and holds him tight.
I thought I'd win you back with gold.
But you were buried, I was told.
How did I ever walk away?
The past is gone, there's just today. We walked so many miles, we walked so many days, and I have missed you in so many ways. I can see so long ago.
You're all I want, you're all I know.
I can seem so far away.
The past is gone, there's just today. We walked so many miles, we walked so many days, and I have missed you in so many ways.
Now Ike and Betsy are back in Hangtown, up in their little room above the dance hall, getting to know each other again, talking, listening, talking some more, filling in all the details of their time apart and all of those terrible misunderstandings. Ike wants to fix the grave marker on Walter's grave, so he goes and gets a wooden one carved with Walter's name. He and Betsy walk hand in hand up to the cemetery. He hands the marker to the grave digger, who makes the switch.
Walter, don't you think it's time we told them who they buried in the ground? Hope your soul is resting easy. I hope it's peace you found. You should know we're always talking up inside my head. Only wish those conversations were here instead. She's the girl I talked about at night here by the fire. Look at us together now, oh, just like you said you'd be. And I almost let her go. But I will say to you and say to her, say it so she knows she'll always be my Pike County Rose. Betsy, you're my Pike County Rose.
One night, a week later, Betsy and I hear a familiar sound. It's Jeremiah, Maylin, and the boys are back in town. Now, Ike knows that Betsy loves to dance, and he holds out his hand. She takes it. They walk side by side into the Hangtown Dance Hall.
That tale has now been told. In these events, the consequence, if all you want is gold, if your dreams are made of gold. We've seen our lovers split apart, we've seen them reunite. God only knows what happens next, but things are looking bright. Yeah, they're happy here tonight. Gold is out there waiting, wait a little more. The sun is set.
Thank you very much. Mike Parker, Tim O'Brien, Emily Kohavi, Emily Nelson, Austin Hoke, Andrea Zahn, Fats Kaplan, Pat McInerney, Carl Straub, Kelly Willis, Brian Zahn, Scotty Huff, Steve Herman, Tom Utes, Peter Cooper, Brian Wright, Jimmy Wallace, John Bird. Who did I miss? Thank you all very much. I'm Eric Brace. That was a lot of fun.